What if I told you there's a scroll so powerful? It holds the secrets to creating worlds or destroying them. Deep in the ruins of an ancient library, one scholar dared to uncover it. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll discover the incredible choice he faced and the consequences that could shape humanity forever. If this story pulls you in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more epic tales, and share this with someone who loves a great adventure. And hey, tell us in the comments, what would you choose, ultimate wisdom or a life untouched by its weight? Let's dive in. Deep within the vaults of a crumbling ancient library, a scholar named Elias stumbles upon an ornate scroll titled The Wisdom of Solomon. Its golden script gleams unnaturally as he reads the first passage, awakening a presence that fills the air with a crackling energy. Legends of this forbidden text flood his mind, its promises of divine wisdom and the dangers of wielding such knowledge. Gripped by curiosity, Elias takes the scroll despite the warnings etched in blood-red ink on its casing. The air grows heavy as he whispers the opening words aloud. The moment Elias recites the incantation, the room shifts. A figure emerges, a spectral Solomon cloaked in radiant light and celestial robes. "You dare summon me?" the spirit intones, his voice resonating with a power that shakes the foundations. Solomon speaks of the scroll's wisdom as both a blessing and a curse, capable of revealing the secrets of creation, yet binding the unworthy to eternal torment. Elias listens, enraptured, as the room fills with visions of stars being born, empires crumbling, and a figure wielding wisdom as a weapon of justice. Solomon offers Elias a choice: turn back now and live, or unravel the scroll to inherit wisdom that could alter the fate of humanity. Solomon warns of the weight of divine justice, which the scroll embodies, a force that spares neither the wicked nor the innocent who falter. Elias, driven by his thirst for truth, agrees to continue. The spirit nods solemnly and vanishes, leaving Elias alone. The library is now eerily silent. Elias grips the scroll tighter, sensing that his journey has only begun. As Elias examines the scroll closer, its surface begins to shift. The golden letters melt and reform, revealing ancient symbols and illustrations. A voice emanates from the scroll itself, whispering truths that send shivers down his spine. It speaks of a hidden realm where divine justice rules, overseen by wisdom as a living force. Elias feels the scroll growing heavier in his hands, as if burdened with centuries of untold secrets. Suddenly, the room collapses into darkness, and he finds himself transported to a vast expanse where light and shadow wage eternal war. Before Elias can process the new world, a colossal figure appears. It is a guardian, a manifestation of wisdom itself, with features carved from light and eyes that burn with knowledge. The guardian speaks in a voice that reverberates through Elias's soul. To claim the wisdom of Solomon, you must prove your heart pure and your will unbreakable. Elias is told of 3 trials he must endure, each revealing deeper truths about divine justice and human frailty. The first trial begins, a test of fear, forcing him to confront his darkest memories. The landscape transforms, revealing scenes from Elias's past. He stands in a darkened alley, a memory of a fateful night when he abandoned a friend in danger. The cries for help echo, growing louder with each passing second. The guardian's voice booms: face the consequences of your fear, or remain bound to it forever. Elias's heart races as he steps forward, determined to rewrite this haunting moment. He embraces the vision of his friend, vowing never to let fear dictate his actions again. The scene dissolves, and Elias collapses, drained but resolute. After conquering his fear, Elias finds himself standing before a vast mirror-like surface. The guardian announces the second trial, a test of justice. The mirror reveals the ripple effects of Elias's past decisions, both good and ill. He sees a life saved by a word of kindness and another ruined by neglect. As the mirror shatters, Elias is tasked with choosing between saving a single innocent life or confronting a band of marauders who threaten many. The trial forces him to weigh immediate mercy against broader justice, shaking him to his core. The final trial begins, a test of truth. Elias stands before an ethereal tribunal made of light and shadow. The voices accuse him of seeking wisdom for selfish ambition rather than for the good of humanity. As the tribunal's questions grow sharper, Elias feels his deepest insecurities rising. He realizes that to pass, he must speak not of his ambitions, but of his willingness to serve something greater. His confession is raw and sincere, and the tribunal dissipates, leaving him alone with the scroll, now pulsing with energy. With the trials complete, Elias holds the scroll in trembling hands. The guardian reappears, declaring, "You have proven your heart worthy, but wisdom comes with a price." The scroll unfurls on its own, radiating golden light. Its words rise into the air, forming images of humanity's history, wars, peace, betrayal, love. Elias realizes the scroll is no ordinary text. It is the fabric of creation itself. The words pulse with energy, filling him with visions of a world in perfect harmony and another in ruin. The guardian warns that wisdom, if wielded selfishly, will consume its bearer. Elias swears to use it for the greater good. As Elias gazes into the scroll, he is transported into the dawn of time. He witnesses wisdom as a force that weaves the cosmos into being. Stars are placed with precision, oceans form with a divine rhythm, and life emerges as an intricate symphony. A voice narrates, "Wisdom was there before all things, shaping creation in perfect balance." Elias feels the immense power of this truth, but he also senses the fragility of the balance. The voice warns, when wisdom is ignored, chaos fills the void. The scene shifts, showing humanity's first rebellion. Elias sees the moment humanity turns away from divine wisdom, chasing power and greed. Towering cities rise, but their foundations are corrupted. Leaders proclaim themselves gods, ignoring the divine justice that underpins creation. Elias watches as wisdom withdraws, and chaos spreads like wildfire. Nations crumble, rivers dry, and the skies darken. The guardian's voice booms. This is the price of forsaking wisdom, a world unmoored from divine order. Elias is overwhelmed by the scale of the destruction, and tears stream down his face as he pleads for the vision to stop. The vision shifts again, showing a glimmer of hope. A lone figure, resembling a prophet, emerges amidst the ruins. This figure, guided by wisdom, begins to rebuild. The guardian explains, though wisdom may retreat, it is never gone. Those who seek it sincerely can restore balance. Elias watches as small acts of justice and compassion ripple outward, bringing life back to barren lands. He is struck by the resilience of wisdom and its power to heal even the most broken of worlds. He realizes that wisdom is not just a guide, it is a force that demands action. As the visions fade, Elias is returned to the cosmic plane, the scroll still glowing in his hands. The guardian speaks again. "You have seen the power of wisdom to create and destroy. Now, you must decide how to wield it." Elias feels a weight on his soul as he contemplates the enormity of his responsibility. He realizes that wisdom is not a gift to hoard but a tool to serve humanity. With resolve, he accepts the call, vowing to use his newfound understanding to inspire others and restore balance in a world lost to greed and ignorance. Imagine being forced to confront the moment in your life you regret the most. Could you rewrite that memory? Or would it break you? Let us know in the comments. If you had one chance to change your past, would you take it or leave it? Elias is thrust into a new vision, this time walking among ordinary people in a bustling city. He observes a woman offering her last piece of bread to a beggar, a merchant refusing to exploit his customers, and a judge standing firm against corruption despite threats. The guardian's voice narrates, "These are the silent heroes, the keepers of wisdom's flame. In their small, selfless acts, they embody the essence of divine justice." Elias feels humbled, realizing wisdom is not just for prophets or kings, but thrives in those who act with righteousness in everyday life. The city changes. Elias now sees the darker side, merchants cheating customers, guards accepting bribes, and leaders exploiting the poor. The guardian intones, where wisdom is ignored, injustice thrives. Even small acts of deceit ripple outward, corrupting the whole. Elias feels the despair of the oppressed, their cries echoing in his heart. He clenches the scroll tightly, realizing that wisdom is not merely a passive force but a weapon to confront darkness. The guardian's voice softens, but justice must be wielded with mercy, for even the corrupt can turn back to the light. The scroll begins to hum, glowing brighter with each passing second. Elias feels its power resonate within him as the guardian declares, "The wisdom of Solomon demands justice." The scroll unfolds itself, its words forming a sphere of light around Elias. The city's corruption is laid bare, each act of cruelty highlighted as if etched in fire. Yet, alongside judgment, the scroll reveals moments of redemption, those who turned from greed to generosity. Elias begins to understand the balance wisdom seeks, punishing wickedness while nurturing the seeds of repentance. A voice rises from the scroll, not the guardians, but a chorus of humanity's oppressed. "We have waited for justice," they cry. Their voices reveal centuries of pain and suffering, from enslaved workers to silenced revolutionaries. Elias feels their anguish as if it were his own. The guardian warns, "Wisdom demands that the righteous speak for those who cannot. If you remain silent, their suffering will endure." Elias understands that his task is not just to see injustice, but to act against it, becoming a vessel for wisdom's voice in the world. The scroll closes abruptly, its glow fading but leaving a warmth in Elias's hands. The guardian addresses him one final time. "Wisdom has chosen you. But know this, knowledge without action is folly. Go, and let the scroll guide you." With that, Elias is thrust back into the mortal world, standing in the ruins of the ancient library where his journey began. Yet, everything feels different. The weight of the scroll has lifted, replaced by a resolve to act. Elias knows his life is no longer his own. It belongs to the pursuit of justice and the restoration of wisdom. Days turn into weeks, and Elias feels the scroll's wisdom seeping into his thoughts. Visions of cosmic balance haunt his dreams, and the cries of the oppressed echo in his waking moments. The scroll becomes a silent companion, pulsing faintly as if awaiting his action. Elias returns to the city, now seeing its injustices with unfiltered clarity. The wealthy exploit the poor. Leaders use religion as a tool for control, and despair hangs heavy in the air. He realizes the true weight of his burden. Wisdom without action is complicity, yet action may cost him everything. In his quest to enact change, Elias seeks allies among the disenfranchised. He meets Seline, a fiery revolutionary who dreams of overthrowing the corrupt elite. She is drawn to Elias's strange knowledge and quiet conviction, but warns him of the risks. "The powerful don't give up control without a fight," she says. Elias shows her the scroll, but its light only partially reveals itself to her. Seline agrees to join him, believing in his vision but remaining skeptical of divine forces. Together, they begin to gather others, sowing seeds of rebellion in whispers and shadows. Elias and Seline begin their work, speaking to the oppressed and stirring hope where there was despair. They reveal truths about the corruption of their leaders, weaving the teachings of the scroll into their rhetoric. The words resonate deeply, igniting a quiet revolution. But Elias struggles with the scroll's visions. It shows him futures where the rebellion fails, consumed by greed and ambition, and others where it succeeds but at a devastating cost. Wisdom warns, justice must be pure, or it too will crumble. Elias begins to doubt his ability to lead such a delicate balance. Just as momentum builds, a traitor emerges, one of their closest allies, driven by greed, reveals their plans to the city's rulers. The group is ambushed during a secret meeting, and many are captured. Elias and Seline narrowly escape, retreating to the ruins of an ancient temple. Elias blames himself for trusting too easily, but the scroll glows brighter, reminding him that wisdom is forged in trials. Seline, however, grows distant, questioning whether divine wisdom can protect them against human treachery. Their alliance begins to strain under the weight of loss. That night, Elias dreams of Solomon himself. The wise king stands amidst a barren wasteland, his eyes heavy with sorrow. Wisdom is not infallible. Solomon says, it offers truth, but humanities will twist it. Will you let despair consume you, or will you rise again? When Elias wakes, he feels renewed clarity. He confronts Seline, apologizing for his failings and urging her to continue the fight. She hesitates but sees the determination in his eyes. They resolve to press on, even as the odds stack against them. With a smaller but more resolute group, Elias and Seline plan a bold move. They decide to expose the city's corruption publicly by revealing documents stolen from the ruler's archives. The scroll glows brightly as if approving their strategy. Elias feels its warmth, a reminder that wisdom does not promise safety but offers strength and conviction. As they prepare for the uprising, Elias begins to see small changes, guards questioning their orders, merchants quietly aiding the poor. The tide, though slow, begins to turn. As Elias and Seline's plan takes shape, their efforts begin to ripple across the city. Workers start to whisper of freedom, and oppressed families find strength in their growing movement. The rulers, however, sense the shift and retaliate. They double the guards on the streets and spread false rumors that Elias and Seline are agents of chaos. Bent on destruction, tension crackles in the air. One night, Elias climbs the city's tallest bell tower, the scroll clutched tightly in his hands, and looks out over the darkened streets. He sees lights flickering in the windows below, signals from allies waiting for the right moment to act. The scroll pulses in his hand, a reminder of both hope and the immense stakes of the coming conflict. On the night of the rebellion, the city is eerily silent. Elias and Seline lead their group through the shadows, each step charged with anticipation. Their plan is to deliver evidence of the ruler's corruption directly to the central square, where they will ignite a public confrontation. The scroll glows with every step, guiding Elias as though attuned to the moral stakes of the moment. When they reach the square, Seline begins to speak, her voice clear and unshaken. She reveals the ruler's crimes, holding up stolen documents as proof. The crowd grows restless, some cheering, others skeptical. Before long, the rulers send their guards to quash the gathering, but the crowd, emboldened by Seline's words, begins to resist. Chaos erupts as shouts fill the square. Elias feels the scroll's energy surge, as if preparing him for a critical moment. As the guards advance, Elias feels the scroll growing hotter in his hands. He climbs onto the platform beside Seline and raises the scroll high. Its glow floods the square, silencing the chaos. Images begin to form in the air above the crowd, visions of the city's corruption, the ruler's hidden wealth, and the suffering of its people. The crowd gasps as they witness their own stories laid bare. Even the guards hesitate, some lowering their weapons. The scroll's light grows brighter, transforming the square into a theater of truth. Then, the visions shift, showing what the city could become if justice prevailed: vibrant streets, fair trade, and leaders who serve rather than exploit. The crowd roars, galvanized into action. Elias steps down, realizing the scroll's power has tipped the balance. The rulers, realizing they are losing control, make one last desperate move. They send a cadre of elite guards to seize Elias and the scroll, hoping to extinguish the rebellion's heart. Seline and the others form a defensive line, their courage unwavering. As the guards charge, Elias feels the scroll pulse violently, as if demanding to be unleashed. He whispers a prayer and opens the scroll fully, its light exploding outward. The guards are stopped in their tracks, their weapons melting into dust. The scroll's voice rings out, echoing through the square. Justice cannot be silenced. Wisdom will not bow to tyranny. The rulers, now trembling, are dragged into the square by the crowd, forced to face the people they have wronged. As the rulers are brought forward, Elias closes the scroll, its light dimming to a soft glow. Seline steps forward to address the crowd, her voice filled with conviction. This is not just a victory, it is a beginning. Justice requires vigilance. Wisdom demands action. The crowd erupts in cheers, their unity now a powerful force. The rulers, stripped of their authority, are sentenced to rebuild the city they exploited. Elias, weary but fulfilled, realizes the scroll's purpose has been served. It begins to fade, its light returning to the heavens. The guardian's voice whispers one last time, wisdom is not meant to be owned. It must live in the hearts of those who seek justice. Weeks later, the city begins its transformation. Markets flourish under fair trade. Leaders emerge from the people, and the streets hum with a renewed sense of hope. Elias, now a quiet figure in the background, watches as wisdom takes root in the hearts of the people. Seline has become a trusted leader, her fiery determination tempered by the lessons of the scroll. One evening, Elias leaves the city, the weight of the scroll replaced by a profound peace. As he walks into the horizon, he feels the guardian's presence, a gentle reminder that his journey is not over. Wisdom's path is endless, and Elias knows he will carry its light wherever he goes. Elias's journey has only just begun, but his story leaves us with a question. How would you wield wisdom if it came with a price? Let us know your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this journey into the mystical and profound, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Together, let's unravel more extraordinary tales. Until next time, stay curious and keep seeking wisdom.